podcast as normal with a good friend, Wynn.
Hey.
Who's been getting into the peptide industry and learning the trade and making a better life for yourself, obviously, with using them. So I thought it would be fun to bring someone on this kind of up and coming in this area, in this arena of peptides and small molecules, and have a little fun today.
Yeah, it's I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Trevor, for having me. It's been quite a fun journey. I've been taking peptides for, I don't know, maybe about 3 years now.
Which is longer than most people, by the way, because if you still go out there and ask, even though it's the number one and number two things that people talk about right now are AI and peptides, right? So I'd say you still got 50% of the country. Now we're in Orange County.
Yeah.
People know peptides around here.
It's a little more dense out here.
Yeah, right? But you go to Indiana, and I was with my girl's family, and I'm telling them about peptides. Her sister's brother knows because he's a trainer. But everyone else is like, what's a peptide? Like, no one knew what the hell I was talking about. No one cares. They're like, oh, what do you do? I'm on the peptide industry. Oh, never heard of that. What is it? Pharmaceutical stuff. Don't worry. Like, I don't want to go and try to explain to the server what I do, right, at the restaurant. But 3 years is pretty advanced in this. So, how did you get into it?
I got into it. So my business partner, he got me into this, and he's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it just started with nagging injuries. Just as we get older, we get these things happen. We're playing sports and things like that. And so I had a shoulder problem and I couldn't play basketball anymore. So I started doing this and I had a little bit of weight I wanted to lose. So I started doing, semaglutide and started doing things like that. And I noticed, I did lose a little bit of weight. The soreness went away, things like that. But I didn't really know what I was doing. So, I started researching a little bit, looking into it a little bit more, trying to find ways to optimize my health a little bit. And I am deep in the rabbit hole now.
That's what happens.
Yeah, it's certainly what happens. You did mention that we are in Orange County and it is dense. But yet there's still a lot of mystery with it, with some of the people out here, especially the older demographic.
Well, and that's there's people that do podcasts and posting, and they're looking for that hit, they're looking for the shock value. And then there's people in me that it's it's a life journey. I've been in it for 12 years now. And I just like giving true and honest feedback and education. And I'm in the manufacturing game. In America. I was one of the first guys to really do it out here. I'm in the pharmaceutical side. We do make every drug you can think of. We do hormones and we do allergy. We do cancer drugs, you name it. We have pharmacies. We're in the telehealth space. We're in the gym space. So what I kind of put out there is just kind of what reality is from I don't even talk about what my companies are when I'm on these things, because it's not about that. It's about education. You figure out where I work or what I do. Great. But I'm never on here promoting it. It's really just, I'm trying to educate. So that's why it's nice to have someone doesn't have the agenda. This is your first podcast even. This is not what he wants to do. He's not trying to become famous from this.
No, not at all.
In to we can shoot the shit for a little bit.
Yeah. I think education, I listened to one of your, I think the first podcast you might have put out. Education is one of the biggest things, right? Getting people to understand what this is and what it does to your body or how it could help. I think that's something there's a lot of content out there that is false and can be a little bit misleading. And, to be able to provide, some education and just some feedback on firsthand experience and research and things like that, networking with people like you who have done it, have been there. You said 12 years, my business partner 10.
How do you get into it?
Who? What?
Your business partner.
He, like I said, he was hurt and he went to a functional health doctor.
Thing. Yeah. It usually starts with injury.
Yeah.
I mean, well, at least it did if you're that long in it, because no one was using GLPs for that. They were around.
Yeah.
They've been around a long time, actually. But the first ones were all pretty bad. Semaglutide was the first one that worked well, and it wasn't a lot of shots. You were seeing the results very quickly, but you had liraglutide and other ones before then. But they were all for diabetes.
Right. And then and all the other things involved with it, Ozempic face and people losing their hair, it's because they're not eating, right? And you don't realize it. It's not the drug; it's the other things that your body's missing. And these are just tools, right? They're just.
Well,
tools.
You hear all the time, like, make sure you take your vitamins.
Yeah.
If you don't eat anything, you're not getting any vitamins.
Correct.
It is true. You do need vitamin D and K and C and all those things in your life. Those are important for you on the daily basis to do those things. Yeah. And the bad part about the original stuff too, and I'm sure you went through because you use it. I actually, other than testing on myself to know how it feels, I never use semaglutide or tirzepatide for any reason other than that. I use RETA a little bit in very micro dose for it's actually pretty good for your health longevity wise, but I never did. But I do remember trying it. You just don't even want to look at a French fry. You know what I mean? Like your favorite thing on earth.
I love French fries.
Yeah,
we all do.
When you're on a decent amount of SEMA, and they were overdosing people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And people would overdose themselves. They're like, well, if I take more, I'll lose more weight quicker, which is not the answer either.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't, it was hard. You couldn't even put down a protein shake, because you're just so nauseous sometimes.
Right. And, we do these things. We try to lead a healthy lifestyle. We talked about it earlier, things in moderation. And when I was doing the semaglutide, I could barely have a couple drinks and just not get sick and things like that. It was awful. Well,
my buddy got pancreatitis from it.
Yeah.
Right. Because he was forced drinking, because even though it shuts down that part of the brain for people for that addiction piece, people fight through that all the time. That's why like food noise is why they help so much with that, is it helps with that. But I had a guy that was on it. He would still take down a large pizza every day. I'm like, bro,
how?
I don't know how you do it. He would literally do it till he's sick.
Wow.
That food noise was so bad for him. But,
there could be some other things, obviously, underlying things going on.
For sure. Depression. There's other things that can lead to force eating,
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's just same thing with you. I did it just for weight loss in the beginning. I'm like, I lost a little bit of weight. Cool. But I was like, well, what is this really doing for me? And I didn't have the concept of doing blood work and things like that. I didn't even think about any of that stuff. Getting a baseline at least to see where I'm at. So I started reading more, and I started, well, why don't I do some blood work? So I signed up with like a functional health, and I do my blood work every quarter now, and I started doing like a baseline and I'm seeing LDL, triglycerides, got some inflammatory markers that were a little bit high. I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing these things that are supposed to help with this, like BPC and things like that. And what's going on? So I'm looking at these things. I'm like, okay, well, why don't I address these things? So I started addressing them, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, well, this GLP will do this, and this will help me with that, and I'm just trying to like gauge it in and understand it better. And I did start doing the RETA, and I started doing MOTS-c, and I started doing NAD, and I started these other things. And there was a point where I was doing so many where I was like, am I really seeing results from this? So as I started seeing I started scaling back on some of them, and I started actually reviewing my blood markers and seeing what these things are doing, seeing how I'm feeling energy wise. I'm in the gym, I'm working out. How am I able to, prior to this, I hurt my shoulder. I played basketball, 5 times a week. And all of a sudden I can't play more. I got bad shoulders, bad knees. But now I'm in the gym 5 days a week, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
No issues. Right. And I'm sore, but I'm still able to get up and go. Right. It's a part of the process.
Well, being sore is good. There's good inflammation, there's bad inflammation, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about it all the time. And I go, well, if you're not hurt or you're not having gut issues, don't take BPC, because being sore is that's part of the game.
Right.
Now, if you're trying to get into competition, or you have an event and you're trying to feel your best going into it, sure, I get that. But so many people, BPC is such a hot name, or the Wolverine is such a hot name.
Yeah.
They just take it like, well, everybody's taking it.
Right.
Anything wrong with you? No.
Yeah. And exactly.
Why are you taking it? Like, you're poking yourself every day for no reason. And you might actually be hindering gains in some of those cases, because you're taking away that time your body's using to that inflammation marker that's creating muscle tissue and weaving. What you need.
Yeah. So to kind of like reverse a little bit there, my father has Parkinson's, right? And it's one of those things like Alzheimer's is all derived from the gut, right? And then, so, I'm thinking, okay, BPC is genetically in me, I'll do it just to kind of prevent it. And I'm still seeing my inflammatory markers kind of still up. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? So to your point, you're right. You have to kind of understand what's going on with your body, and you can't just rely on these things to get you to the end goal. I mean, although, when I first started RETA, I wasn't working out at all. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't fully optimizing myself. I was just doing it because I was chasing the craze. Right.
I mean, there's still a lot of people do that. People take GLPs so they can drink more, because they're like, oh, I just want to get rid of the extra calories. I mean, don't kill me, babe. But even my girlfriend, she wanted to take RETA because of her cravings for pastries.
Yeah.
She eats pastries every day. She loves pastries. I'm like, you look great though. Like, you don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it's this mental thing that like, oh, well, I'm being bad, so I got to do something that's.
Well, how did her biomarkers check out? Was there any insulin resistance? Is anything like that?
She is phenomenal. It's like, it's anybody like me that have the chronic, you look in the mirror and you're like, Jesus, I'm getting fat. And everyone's looking at you going, like, are you fucking high? You
Yeah.
know, like,
I mean, you
I
look
weigh
great.
240 pounds and 3% body fat. I'm like, I think I'm losing weight. She's like, you're 239. You lost 1 pound.
You know how the saying
That's
goes.
water,
You know how
you
the
know?
saying goes. Everyone's their own worst critic, right?
Oh, for
So
sure. And she's just as bad as me.
Yeah, I can't tell you I can tell you look great, but there's no amount of confidence or things I can say to you to bolster that. That's on you.
It
you
is. And that little marker in your head that keeps doubting you is what kind of pushes you to get better, right? If you look in the mirror and you're like, man, I look good, and you're 40 pounds overweight, you're probably not going to have any, real drive to get in the gym and put in an hour, 2 hours, unless you have a health issue they're telling you, right?
Right.
But if you're just like, I look good, I like how I look, you're not going to go waste 20 hours a week, driving to the gym, eating, meal prep, all those things. It's got to be a little bit of your own worst enemy being you. But it's just so funny because, the good news is these low dose GLPs are showing a lot of better qualities for like kidney health and all these other things that are great too. And keeping insulin sensitivity there and, dropping glucose levels that can lead to, problems down the road. So they can be beneficial as long as you keep it in that low dose and you're not trying to get anorexic, like look like a twig or something, right?
I think there's such a big misconception. I've had so many, friends and family, just general people talking about peptides in general, where I'm not losing weight, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm like, how long have you been on it? Like 3 weeks. I'm like, I mean, it's going to take longer than that, and you can't. And they just up dose. Well, because
they hear the story of the person that goes, I lost 12 pounds the first week.
Yeah,
right. And that's not 12 pounds of fat they lost in the first week. A lot of times, someone might be carrying a lot more water, right? So if let's say you're just someone that's overweight and, you've been trying to do well, you eat pretty clean, you don't go out and drink every night. You're not eating fast food. You're not drinking 40 sodas, right? You're just a normal person that's, I'm 30 pounds overweight. And, you hear the stories about losing 12 pounds and you go to do it and you go, man, I've only lost 2 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight, by the way. 2 pounds in 2 weeks.
That's
52 pounds a year. You're good.
That's ideal.
But they think, oh, I should have lost 12. Well, that person that probably did lose 12, they might be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
They might eat aggressively salty and crap fast food all the time. So when they stop or when they start the whatever GLP or anything they're taking, it might be an amylin base, whatever they take, they're going to start dropping water off first. They're going to start, all those things. So they stop eating all the salt. So now the water's getting out and they, they're not the drinking. So they're, they're getting rid of all that excess. There's just other reasons.
Yeah.
It's not all weight.
Every scenario is different. Exactly. Every body's different and everyone's going to be they're going to move at a different pace.
Yeah. So what are you taking now?
Right now I'm doing RETA. I'm starting to taper down to get off it. I've been on it for roughly 24 weeks now.
Okay. What's your dosage?
I started at 1 mg weekly and then I capped at 3.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't go any higher than that just because I've read so many, over the clinical stuff, so many, things, and I didn't find it necessary. I was already losing the weight. I was good,
I got to get my tattoo artist on here.
Mm-hmm.
She is an amazing story. What's great, and when, she's shy, she'll probably never get on here, but if I can convince her, it'd be awesome. She's German too. So she speaks very good English. She's an American citizen and German citizen kind of thing. But when we were talking about at the time, like I would never personally go over like 2-3 milligrams of RETA because like take breaks. There's other things you can do.
Yeah.
Don't just blast your system and wear out your receptors. And she took that to heart. Right. And, she does other things now. The girl's lost over 108 pounds.
What did she start at?
Over 300.
Wow.
And she was a power lifter. So when I first met her, right. So, and Lisa, I'm sorry if this offends you in any way. I don't think it will at all. She's dear to my heart now, and her and her family and her mom and everything. But when I was getting tattooed by Arlo in Colorado for this piece, I was talking to a guy named Fez, and he was running the shop, all this stuff. And I was talking about how I have all these old crappy tattoos from when I was like a teenager getting my, I was like, oh, my best friend's brother's tattoo artist, trade him a bag of weed, get a tattoo. And
hey man, those are lifelong.
No, they're not. I got rid of them. Most of them. I'm deleting this one right now. I'm going to get rid of this one soon. My leg's getting blasted. I'll go over them. I'm not going to get them all the way. I'm just going to get them light enough so I can get over them. I'm going to do one set of nice ones and then away we go.
Yeah.
But they got all these bad tattoos. I'm like, God, I wish there was a way I didn't have to go through the lasering so much.
Oh yeah.
Right. And he's like, oh, you got to check out this girl, Lisa's work. She is like the best cover-up artist in the world. And she really is. If you look at what there was a whole script, stars on my chest, not one laser session. She just went right over the top. And this arm, same thing. This has a whole tribal black tattoo under it.
That's an art in itself. Yeah.
You can't even see anything.
No,
it's
you can't.
crazy how good she is. She's like, she goes, don't do anything. I'll go over anything. And she's good. So, and she can tattoo any style. So anyway, you know, I was looking at her, you know, for Instagram at her work and stuff like that. And there's pictures of her. And I'm like, wow, she's a really pretty girl. And she's jacked. She was a power lifter. So I go to get tattooed by her like 2-3 months later. I make an appointment. She was doing she was coming to do like it's not a stage, but you know, where they come in and work for like a month, guest artist thing.
Okay.
And I get to see her and I'm like, oh, wow, she's put on a lot of weight. And she had, you know, she was going through a divorce and she had, you know, stresses of life and all the things going on. And she wasn't in the gym. She wasn't eating well. She wasn't making money. So she wasn't eating right. She was eating crappier food. Oh, you know, this stuff that happens. And people that are generally very muscular, but they had to work really hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
If it flips, it can flip twice as bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that muscle's got to turn to something. And sometimes it just turns to fat.
Yeah.
So she put on a lot of weight.
Wow.
And you know, I was talking all day long while she was tattooing me, and she was so annoyed with me because she's trying to pull lines on my chest and on my AirPods. But at the end of the day, she's like, so, you know, I hear you talking about this stuff, and do you think it would help me? And I said, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, have you done Peptides? No, and all this. And I go, I literally had some stuff in my backpack.
Wow.
I had a bottle of RETA and some stuff. And I said, hey, I know you just met me. This is like $2,000 worth of stuff. I'm like, just take it. It's on me. I'm not going to charge you. I think look into it, and you can ask any questions. We're getting tattooed for 2 more days.
Yeah.
But like looking into tonight, I go, I really think this stuff will be beneficial for you. Yeah. And the next day she's on the phone with her mom, and all of a sudden she's like, my mom wants to talk to you. And I'm like, hi mom. And she's like, what do you give my daughter and why? And I kind of reiterated what I just talked about. And I go, I just honestly thought, you know, she sounded really down about her weight and everything going on. You know, this has helped million people that I know. Mm-hmm. And I think it will really help her. He goes, you just gave it to her for free. No obligation. I said, no, I just wanted to help her. And she started crying. She's like, no one's done that.
You know, that's the thing about you, Trevor, is, you know, you have achieved a high level of success, yet you're still the same guy.
That's what people say. Like, the same dude. Doesn't matter if you
same dude. You know, you're literally your goal. You're passionate about what you do, and your goal is to really help people. And you probably saved her life. She
has done nothing for the last year other than thank me a million times. She made me a big old art piece of my dogs.
It's just the thing that the gesture that you did right there is priceless. Yeah, it's absolutely priceless. You probably did save her life. I'm going to reiterate that. Yeah,
you know, this is the thing I always say. I go, it takes two to tango. I may have been able to help kickstart it, but she used them. And she got her butt in the gym, and she is doing so good. And she actually comes out here now. I actually had her come out because, you know, she wasn't making a ton of money. It costs a lot of money. She has a child, so she's here. She has two. She had her son out here, so she's trying to rent a place, live somewhere, feed, have a nanny so she can work, pay all the fees for the, you know, to be in these shops. And, you know, she's like, it's not that much money. So I said, okay, how much do you normally charge? Charge $2,000 a day. I said, okay, you probably pay 25% of that to the shop, right? So I said, it's $1,500. I said, well, why don't we do this? I said, why don't I fly you out? I go, I got 10 days worth of work on me to do. Okay. So I go, I'll give you 15 grand. And then I said, you can stay at my house, food, everything. I have an extra car. You can use one of my cars. I'll set up a tattoo shop it was in my freaking office in my house. Nice. Totally not sanitary. Yeah. Well, but we did it. And I said, come out and I'll guarantee you at least 20 grand, right? For 2 weeks. Come out for 2 weeks. I'll find some other people for the other days. Okay. She was so busy. She stayed a whole month, and she had 2 months worth of work to come back to. So she's been tattooing for 2 months. Wow. At my office. Wow. So not my home, but I have an office. Yeah. So, which is clean. So she's done, you know, it's been a life-changing event, but I'm proud of her because matter what, she's still working 10 to 14 hours a day. And when we get off at 10 o'clock, she goes straight to the gym. And she has a child too? He's not on this trip because she knows she had to work a lot. She's trying to, so it's with, like I said, divorce. So with dad for this one. Yeah. But now she gets to go back and she's got money in her pocket. She's got confidence. She's got a great boyfriend. That's super cool. He's so funny. He's a mortician. Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's like, his deal is death. I'm like, he's like, oh, how was your day? He's like, oh, it was a good day. I go, not for everybody that talked to you. Like that's a bad day for the rest of the people, but you had a good day, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been working like midnight to 7 a.m. because the German hours.
So that's a different,
right?
That's a different breed right there.
Yeah. So anyway, but but
to kind of piggyback off of what you said about, you kind of kickstarted her, and a lot of people don't realize is that you have to by optimizing, meaning you have to have the correct diet in place. You have to have the work ethic in the gym.
Yeah.
You have to have sleep is the most important thing that I learned. Sleep.
I haven't slept for a week. Last night was the first night I've slept in a week.
Are your hormones balanced?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. I was traveling for a month, and I was in Thailand for just 2 days. So I bought a house out there.
Oh, good.
We're building it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super stoked because I like kind of the retirement plan at some point is, live there a few months a year, open a dive shop, wellness center, and kind of do that over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go back and forth, but I love the food. I love the people, all that kind of stuff. So I was out there. I just had to get the paperwork signed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was there for with the travel is like a 4.5 day swing. I got back and I got food poisoning on the airplane on the way back. And it had to be from the airplane because it's 20 hours of flying. And I got sick an hour and a half before I landed. So you got about 18 hours of that I didn't have a chance to eat anywhere else besides airplane food. So that's pretty much in the window of like, oh my God, that threw me off even worse. I was puking for 14 hours straight.
Oh, I'll keep you awake.
Yeah. So then, trying to sleep the next day, you still feel bad. So I had like a week of just effed up sleep. And then I just couldn't go to bed. So every night I just stare at the ceiling until 4. I'd just get up and go to the gym at 4 in.
But overall, typically you get great sleep.
6 hours.
6 hours. So you have one of these
the whoops.
Yeah,
whatever.
The modern age Tamagotchi, what are those things called? Tamagotchi?
You know what? There's I tried doing the Apple Watch, but I like wearing watches. So I was wearing it on this side, and with my bracelets, I'm like, it was all right. But then it, I'm so busy, I forget to charge it.
Yeah.
And what are you really tracking?
Right.
Because you're only getting a partial. The
ring, like you grabbing weights, you probably
I've heard that thing's so bulky.
Yeah.
But no, there's a new one. I'm doing I'm working with a company called Heal, and really cool company. They we kind of did their IP. We built their data center and their platform for them and all that good stuff. And the guy that owns it was the guy that started RC Cola.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
RC Cola.
Yeah, cool. I loved RC Cola. That's what my grandma and grandpa drank when I was a kid. So he's obviously doing well. He's all into this longevity space now, and he's really entering it hard. He's got money to do it, and he has a new band coming out that looks really cool. It measures like your cortisol levels. I don't know how accurate this thing really is.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy that. It comes in like rose gold, black, it has a lot of cool colors. It looks better. And I'm like, I can slap that thing on. And I think like for the most part, like you just kind of blend in my tattoos and everything.
Right.
So I'm going to try that, and it lasts a week.
Okay. Oh yeah. This is the battery life on the Whoop's about a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can get into that. So I'll get one from.
Are you just want to track everything in general, or?
Well, I've just never done like a tracking, but it does your sleep, how you sleep. Is it restless sleep? Are you in REM?
Well, this thing shows me because I have sleep apnea. So this thing, last night I woke up. I have 16 wake up episodes, and I don't even know it.
Yeah,
16, and this is what I'm talking about. Like if my test is a little low, but I can't do TRT because my red blood cell count's high because I don't get enough sleep.
But you know that it's not red blood cell that's the problem. It's your platelets. Are your platelets too high? Because my red blood cell count is always high. I'm not going to have a stroke.
Are you on TRT?
Yeah, I've been on TRT for 10 years.
I think that like the whole viscosity of your blood is going to be a little bit thicker because of that, right?
But yeah, a little bit. But
hemocrats and stuff like that.
But if it's not full of the other pieces, it's just red blood cells. That's not going to cause a problem. You just have a high red blood cell. And if you are growing and you have more muscle mass, you have more red blood cells. Okay, so unless you're just like way off the chart, I get it. But if every test is slightly different. If the range is 65 to 90 or 70 to 90, and you're at 94. Mm-hmm. You're probably fine as long as your platelets and other things aren't through the roof.
Right.
With it. If they're still in the norm, you're good.
Yeah.
So you might still be able to use testosterone and be fine in that range. You might see that your red blood cells don't even go up at all.
I would love to. And, there was talks of, donating blood to kind of help with the viscosity.
I don't do it at all. And it's a common misconception. Who taught me that was Jay Campbell.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's all about the hormone world. That's where he started 20 plus years ago. He was the first, hormone guy for men and women. Like trying to preach to everybody, like, hey, these are not steroids.
Yeah,
this is reality.
You're optimizing what you're losing.
Well, you're not even optimizing anymore. Everyone's got garbage for their numbers from all the bad food we've eaten, right? We have all the shit pumped full of hormones that shut off our own.
Yeah.
And you got to get back up. So, and that's why I got really into, like, we're going to open a women's platform. Like, there's a couple out there, but really dedicated to women in their hormones and to longevity and to, post menopause, all that kind of stuff.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Because with women's bodies, from my understanding, it's their hormone levels are always kind of, bouncing up and down.
Yeah, think about it. We don't have periods. We don't have menstrual cycles.
Right. They have the ability to
don't
get birth. Yeah. So it's like they
have a lot more going on.
They do.
And their body goes through. We have, everybody's got different things, but men go through like 3 changes in their life. They have their childhood growth, then they go through when their hormones kick in, and then they go when their hormones shut off. Start shutting down. Right.
Yeah.
Women, they get 10,000 of them in their lifetime. It's every month they got to swing. And then, they go through their, the optimization to get pregnant. And then they lose that. And then they go through the real menopause. And then they come out of that. It's just, whoa. And and trust me, I'm building the platform because I want to help, but we're hiring, women's doctors that are very educated in that.
Right.
And think about the like sex drives and everything else. It was like a no-no to say women take testosterone, but it's showing so much. If you're in menopause,
it's a part of their biology, right?
A little bit of testosterone kicks out 50-60% of the problems.
Yeah,
immediately.
I didn't know. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And women are. It's more like estrogen, this and that, right?
You got progesterone, you got estrogen, you got testosterone. We have
them, but our levels. Yeah.
I keep my estrogen way higher than normal. For instance, like the normal range is like 30 to 60 is normal, or 25 to 60 kind of thing, 25 to 50. I keep mine at like over 100.
Is that to combat with the testosterone?
My testosterone's high, and also estrogen is really good for your sex drive. It's good for your brain. It's good for your joints. There's benefits to estrogen
that's
if you eliminate, like, to just go on a hormone regimen, and your doctor goes, okay, we're going to give you testosterone, then we're going to give you an anti-estrogen. It's like, why are you giving me an estrogen? You don't know if my estrogen is high. You haven't even started the testosterone.
Well, why aren't you taking biomarkers to test that in the first place? What's going on?
But that's laziness.
Yeah.
And also poor education to the doctors. They weren't trained in this. They're just kind of getting into it. But I tell people all the time, I go, I don't want to get, gyno. I don't want to get bitch tits.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's genetic. What? So I leave mine at 120.
Wow.
My estrogen, I don't have bitch tits. I don't have sensitivity.
Huh. Well,
I'm not genetically disposed to that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So I can run my estrogen high. So if you don't have that, now you can test for it, right? And you can also, if you're getting heavy sensitivity, you need to trim it down.
Yeah.
But they just start giving it to them for no reason. And you need estrogen in your body, even as men.
It's about balance, right?
Yes.
It's all about your body's got to be balanced. And, I tell all these guys that they talk to me about peptides. It's like, well, if you're not getting sleep, you're not eating right, you'll get to somewhere, but you're not. Sometimes these things don't work if you don't have everything else in balance, everything else in check. That's about optimization, right? You have to get all these other things lined up first. Just lead a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
You can still have fun. We don't have to sit here and, eat like rabbits. We can still have fun, have drinks on the weekends, but just in moderation, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to learn more about the hormone stuff, and for me, I'm just trying to get my blood levels in line. I got all my mineral levels in line. And these are also things too that a lot of people don't know about, so the first thing when people ask me about peptides, I'm like, have you got your blood work done? Have you gotten your biomarkers checked? Let's start there and see where you're at. If you want to get on something, then let's do it. But a lot of my friends that are a little bit older, I say, well, I definitely want to see your biomarkers. I had a buddy who said, hey, Wynn, what's this? It was glow, right? And he said, I want to try this. And he sent me his biomarkers. He naturally has high levels of copper in his body. And you put more copper in your body, what's going to happen? There's a bunch of problems can happen, right? So
you're already heavy in toxicity and metals.
Yeah, so people just do these things to do it, but they don't realize that you should get some kind of baseline.
Well, and like I said, that comes down to just people. Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and
compared to like
the social media stuff. Yeah.
So let me ask this. Okay, what's the funniest peptide story you know? And it could be you did it yourself, or you could say it could be something someone else did. Not tragic, funny. Do you have a funny one?
I have to kind of think about this. A funny one that PT-141.
Yeah, that's probably go to. Okay, so let's hear it. Come on.
I had a buddy. He's type 2 diabetic, and from my understanding, for him, he has a lot of issues with libido and just overall blood flow down there. And
it's a blood flow issue, right?
Yeah,
so you need that.
Yeah. So he did it. I told him, hey, just do a very small amount. You might feel flush. You might feel.
You have a little nausea.
Yeah, a little nausea. I'm like, okay, and this guy was so adamant about doing it because he had this girl over and all these things, and he did more than I think maybe triple the amount he should have done.
Okay.
And the guy's just like calls me, man, I feel like shit, this and that. I'm like, well, how you feeling down there? He's like, great. So
I've had 2 people go to the hospital because they decided they want to take the whole bottle, so they wanted to make sure they performed, and they had the 8-hour erection.
Oh my god!
And I didn't think it could ever get that strong. They didn't have any. They didn't. One of them actually had to have it drained.
Wow.
But
what do you do?
He was on a bunch of shit though. It wasn't just that. He was pounding Viagra, Cialis, everything, and he did that as well. And the combo, it kept it up for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So,
that's
but then Drew, he had the same thing. He tested it out and did too much, and he was ice bathing himself to get rid of it.
Wow.
Because he was so worried.
I mean, I've done PT-141, I've done Kisspeptin, I've done them together, and synergistically, they're great.
Yeah, I've never had any problems where it doesn't go away.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I've had it. Man, I wish I got about 4 hours.
Yeah,
and that'd be amazing for me.
Yeah, so that I guess that's my funny story, but it just. I tell people you gotta go on these things really slow. Like you start slow, see how your body reacts.
That's the thing. Everybody's a little bit different now. Yeah, every once in a while. But the other thing is you never know. There's a lot of things that create, what people lead to like an anaphylactic result, with like an allergy or whatnot. Mm. It really isn't that. It triggers a very similar response for a lot of people where they get flushing or they get shortness of breath, things like that. And don't quote me exactly on this, but I don't think there's really any deaths associated with it. So it's not like an actual allergic reaction that if you ate an onion and you shouldn't have a nut or whatever, it's like that same thing. But yeah, it can still get scary. And if you just go full, all the way, punch it all the way down and you never actually started small and ramped up. Yeah, that can be a little more intense than you want it to be.
Yeah, well,
so you gotta watch that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with those things. So,
that's why I didn't make CJC for a long time. And
the pulses, right?
Well, yeah, because people didn't understand the dosing. So a lot of people were dosing CJC like they were dosing sermorelin, right? Sermorellin's CJC is modified sermorelin, and then they started dosing like tesamorelin, not understanding the mechanism of action. And when you do CJC at a milligram instead of 0.3 milligrams kind of starting dose, you're 3x plus the normal dose. And then you had people doing more than that, right? Because they were like, oh, I want a little extra. So they're at 1.5. Now they're at 5x the dose. And they were like passing out.
Wow.
And there wasn't enough education at the time. This is 5 years ago. And I just said, I'm not making it. I don't want to risk that.
Yeah. The liability falls, within, and, with you being in your position where you're at, I'm sure you have to.
Trust me, I got a lot of hate mail from people who are like, "What the fuck? Why will you make it?" I'm like, "Go eat it somewhere else. I won't."
Well, yeah, because you have a conscience. You don't want to hurt people, and I asked you earlier, how you're transitioning your business right now too. How are you transitioning? Are you guys going telehealth? I see that. I see that you gated your site.
It's funny. So we launched our telehealth platform, one of them today, Paramount Health RX.
Okay.
So it's not open to the public yet, but so we're doing friends and family now. So I have everybody inside the company has like a $500 credit, right? And I said, go on. If you want to spend $1,000, you're on the hook for the other 500, but you get $500 free. And I want you to go on, get a blood, thing, because we send it to you, you throw it on, and then go through the whole, see the doctor, the whole piece there, and then, order some stuff, and you can go, I don't care, go get Cialis for all I give a shit, right? Yeah. Go on, whatever you want to do. And, order around, and we're just trying to see if there's any bugs, flaws. How does it look when you put in a credit card? Does it go through? Because, the first day we were going to launch yesterday, and this is a long time coming because you just keep finding little things you want to be perfect. And it's like, once there's enough things that aren't going to like cause the whole house of cards to fall over, because you got to make sure, like HIPAA compliance, that's one of the worst things you do if you fucked up. Like the blood company that we hired to do the
testing, yeah.
Like when we were testing it, they sent the blood results from one of our people to another different person within our company, right? That's a huge. Now it would have been their liability, not us, but We still don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, you're tied into it in one way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, wait, nope, go in, fix all of this, run a lot of testing to make sure that happens. And we do like we hire cybersecurity companies to go in and try and find, leaks, like holes in our system. So like that's going on right now.
Oh, wow.
So we do all these things. Now it's like, okay, great, we're going live. So we're going to have people outside of the normal testing environment they call the sandbox going in. And now that we're ordering and we have people that are going to be going through I'm testing that right now with a company that's going to act like hackers, and they're going to try and get into our files and do all these things like while we're doing this stuff.
Wow.
Because I want to make sure it's done right. So if everything goes well for the next 2 weeks, we'll open it all the way up. But yeah, we got about 2 more weeks of that. And then, we'll do 25% off because the margins are much lower on drugs and so forth. Yeah. You can't mark them up and all that. It's good jazz. So we'll do like friends and family 25% off for everybody. Like if you want to go on, go get blood work, all that stuff, jump on, check it out.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a discount for a little bit. And then, off to the races after that. So we have that one. Then we have another one, Sky Health, that's going to go in July. We have the women's side of it that's coming. And then, we did our doctor network ordering system, Alpha Sync.
Yeah.
So, RX.
I mean, that's great. You're providing safe access, and you're taking the steps to make that, you're protecting everyone's information, which is.
Well, you have to. It's like there's so many people that are trying to get into this space because it's a hot space and the door has already closed. People think they're getting in. It's like, no, you're running into the door. People call me all the time like, we just built a laboratory. I was having a conversation this morning. There's a new one in Costa Mesa. So they want me to come down and all this stuff. I walked in, I go, hell no. And I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to get played and anything like that. But violation after violation after violation after violation. I go, I don't even want to walk in it. It's so bad.
Wow.
Right. And it's because these people are just, they're from the weed industry or whatever. And they just think, one was another. I was in the cartridge industry, which is gone now. Right.
Yeah.
That's
all that stuff's done. It's
all done.
And a lot of people are looking to pivot from that industry and they're trying to hop into this. It has kind of a cannabis 2015 feel to it.
It does, but it wasn't.
There's a lot more to it than what. It's not just selling a bag of weed, right? It's just a lot more to it.
There's a lot more to it. Now the regulations, all that I get, but the process of doing it correctly is 100 times harder.
Right.
You're not growing a plant here.
Yeah. It reminds me of, Wolf of Wall Street. They're selling penny stocks, the Aerotime building over there. It's like, it reminds me of something like that.
A little bit.
There's the labs like you, and then there's these guys.
The other guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have 9 facilities.
Yeah. Guys, I remember when I talked to you about this a while ago, I think you had maybe 4. So.
Yeah. No, I saw it earlier. We're driving down to San Diego after this. We bought an interest in a drug manufacturing facility, and they have 2 ANDAs, which is a application for a new drug to hit the market. So those take about a year to go through. So we got 2 drugs going through there, and then we have a bunch of research products that we're starting to do that we want to get going for, apply for, IRBs and INDs, and all these acronyms are for basically creating new products that can be on the market legally and get scripted or whatever it might be. So we bought a chunk of them because they're very good at what they do. So we're good at what we do. So there's some opportunity there. And we had 2 facilities. I closed on a building in Carolina, $6 million. It's a shell, and it's a big one. And we're building a full 503B in that location.
Wow.
A lot of money is being spent on that. And then we have another one in Atlanta, and we have a 503A that their inspection is on the 20th of this month for us to go live. It's built, it's ready. We're just waiting for final checkoff. So that's another one that's opening. So we're expanding like crazy.
Moving fast.
Yeah, I got to stop moving. I got to sit back and actually accumulate some dollars again.
Let things
spending it all on stuff. And then we got our corporate office. We're waiting on the city of Santa Ana to come in and do, their thing. You got to wait everywhere. It's like, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait.
That's the name of the game, especially when you do things the right way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, more.
Well, that's the other thing. I go, even if I wanted to do business with you, I would never want, if anybody came into this place, I don't even want my name coming out in the same sentence as, oh yeah, we do stuff for them, because no,
it's a misrepresentation.
It's really big misrepresentation. Yeah. I don't want to do anything
everything has to be done right, your way, the right way, right?
It's not even my way. It's the correct way. It's the legal way to do things. People talk about this gray space. There's gray and there's blatantly ignoring what the rules are.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do. They blatantly say, oh, I'm just in the gray. Well, no, gray means there's no definition on what this is. So you're kind of guessing until someone makes a rule. And when I sit there, I go, you're making auto injector pens. That's illegal. That is considered a for human use product if you're putting it in a pen.
And this is considered being the RUO side of things.
You were physically doing, you could stop doing that.
Yeah.
But you're not.
Right.
Because you want to try and make money. That is my problem. So if you're
There's a lot of that going on.
Yes, if you're blatantly breaking the rules, then I don't want to do business with you. Right? I get, oh shit, I didn't realize that. Cool, let's get it corrected. Those are good conversations because it's tough.
Yeah.
But we've hired so many like people that used to be in the FDA or run big pharmacy companies and all this stuff. And then we've hired guys that have run big pharma and stuff like that because I don't care how good you are. I mean, even an FDA inspector without a checklist is going to miss things as they walk through a facility because there's so much.
There's a lot. Yeah.
You got to be.
I mean, I have so many friends and family that would go to these clinics and get the protocols and then go to an RUO site simply because you can't get the protocols on an RUO site.
No.
You can't. These sites cannot intend use. They can't. You email them and you can't tell them how to do it. They'll ask you how to reconstitute. I can't tell you that. Go research it. Do your independent research. Yeah. Research use only, hence the name, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're making some strides and I know everybody's excited about the category 1 list, but that's still going to take 6-8 months, maybe even more.
Yeah.
A year.
And these peptides can benefit so many people. And it used to be something like my business partner did 10 years ago. It was more of an elite thing. It was expensive.
Yeah. It's come down a lot.
Exosome and stem cells. Now that it's where it's at, whereas exosomes and stem cells are still up there, right? These things are actually affordable to a larger demographic now.
Well, even then, we're opening Florida passed the law for human tissue cell products and all that good stuff. So
that's there are studies behind that, and I think that's the only thing that can actually help my father's Parkinson's is stem cell. I mean,
there's stuff behind that. There's Tesofensine has shown help. P21 has shown to help because of dopamine issue.
Yeah.
And there's a new product out of Japan. And I got to get you the name on it.
Please.
That's going through research right now. And it's showing massive uptick on reversing.
I'm trying to find more oral solutions for him because there's tremors. He can't inject himself.
Tesofensine, Dihexa are both oral.
Yeah. I've given him those before. And a lot of the research that I've done and his doctor saw him is great. But the issue is from what I've studied, and you correct me if I'm wrong, they're more to kind of create more of a better way of life as opposed to actually fixing it.
Well, correct. We don't have a fix yet, right? And that's where the research is all. So a lot of the research that was done in tesofensine it's like a precautionary, right? So if you have Parkinson's in your genetics, you should take a small dose of it because you're continuing to help the regulation of dopamine along with serotonin and your adrenaline receptor, and it's to help regulate those so they don't go out of whack.
Right.
So you just take a small dose, and I take it. I take 250 micrograms every day.
Okay. Do you cycle on, cycle off?
No, take it every day.
Okay.
And then there's Dihexa, which is brain-derived neurofactor, helps rebuild, brain regenesis, synapses, all the good things that you need in your brain because your brain doesn't really repair itself like normal. The rest of your body, you don't have more brain cells.
Right.
So that's going to help with reweaving parts of those damaged pieces of the brain or whatnot. So even if you can say you can put it at a halt, if you have this, do you want to be this? Or do you want to be at this as longer?
Correct. Yes.
So,
and that being a degenerative disease, yes, you want to slow it down as much as you can.
Yeah. So, I mean, would I take 250 micrograms if I had Parkinson's? No, I'd probably be more like a milligram a day, right? Because I have the problem. I'm not preventing.
Now, I've read that could raise your resting heart rate a little bit. Is that something that my father's 70?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't just start with one, but I personally, if I started developing Parkinson's, I would ramp myself up, see where I can get to. And I would take probably 30 to 40 milligrams of Dihexa personally, because the studies are from 5 to 40 right now that you can find out there. There are studies on all this, by the way. Yeah. So you can go read them. There's current studies going on in Europe and other places on these products. So this is not like Trevor's book of like my personal, I'm telling you what I would personally do because I've read the studies on it.
Yeah.
Now, is it mean it's going to work? But if I can slow it down to wait for some of this other stuff that's coming out that are, like you said, there's a lot of stem cell based targeting therapies that they're coming up with to help actually fix it. Like let's say your Parkinson's is at a 2. 10 is just over. My uncle died of it, right?
Sorry to hear that.
Hey, great man. And he held it together for a long time, but it was tough. You had to sit there and talk to him, and he's so, frustrated because he can't get the words out.
Yeah.
In his head, he's like,
it's there.
Spit it out.
Yeah, physically, he cannot do it. Yeah.
Physically can't do it. So, and, this was a brilliant man. He was, he ran the school district, and he was a genius, and he impacted so many people's lives. He was a great human being, literally like an island. It's from my adopted side of the family, right? So it's not even blood. He never treated me like anything but like real blood family. Right. That's just how they are. And I still talk to his wife Linda, my aunt. Talk to her every week.
Good.
Right. I'm going out to see my cousins. My second cousin, she got drafted to play professional rugby for the New York rugby team out there. So I'm going out to see her play. And like, these are just great people, right? And they accepted me. I'm the fucking weirdo comparatively. If you see these, they're all Catholic, went to school, all doctors, pretty much a large chunk of them.
Yeah.
So, but he got to see all of his grandchildren graduate, and then it was just done.
Wow.
Like he got that. That's what he wanted to see, but it was tough, but if he could slow that down, instead of it going over 14 years, let's say he could have made it to 19, and he could have been made to 19 much more comfortably. I mean, why not try it? It's cheap as hell.
Those extra years can, maybe a clinical, develops and it finishes. There are clinicals going on right now.
Tons.
And
you might not even know about them because they're not broadcasting anything, because people don't like broadcasting. A lot of people, at least, that are like true, real clinical researchers. Mm-hmm. They don't like talking about things until they figure it out, because there's so many failures.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just sit there constantly living with your failure, right? So you don't like saying anything until you're like, oh my God, we're close. And even then, it could take 20 more years to get that last chunk. That's the shit part about it, but it's also the fun part about it, right?
The research, the development,
all those things. Figure it out. You're like, holy crap. 60, 70 years of thousands and thousands of most brilliant minds working on this. And
and I just, with the whole studies about cholesterol and it being not really correlated with heart health and things like that. My father's putting a statin. I think that could have been.
No, get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Do you realize they don't even test for blood pressure in Japan anymore? Because it's bullshit. Sodium, blood pressure, all bullshit. All these things that came out a long time ago. I hate to say it, there was nobody checking anybody's work in the 50s, 60s. There was no internet. There was, it was kind of like,
the accessibility is,
you go, who should we hire to figure this out? Well, did you hire the right person? Well, no, you took it, look at Fauci, moron.
Yeah.
Right. That guy should never have been running.
No.
That, right?
Yeah.
Hire the wrong person. What if you did that for cholesterol and blood pressure 80 years ago and we're still listening to it? Just like the saturated fats are bad for you. No, they're not.
I mean, you have to eat fat to maintain hormones.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We had we lived with a sugar infested food pyramid for 60 years because we let the companies that made the food decide what we should eat. So let's get over it. Let's start checking the work.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are becoming more aware of that over the past maybe 5 years. I tend to typically only shop on the outside of the market. Everything in the middle, I kind of stay away from.
Yeah, it's true. You really do. You do, because all the stuff that's like somewhat fresh. Yeah, sometimes it isn't. Yeah. But what's that freaking app? I have it. Hold on. It's
it's one where you can scan the barcode.
Yeah. Yuka.
Okay. Yeah.
Get Yuka, everybody.
Yeah, Yuka.
I want 1 penny for that. Yeah, just kidding. But no, you know what? This is the whole thing. You still look at it because there's things that's like average 52, and you go to read it, and it will say like high in saturated fat. Like, yes, it's high, but you're eating peanut butter. It's going to be high in fat. It's peanut butter, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you're never going to see 100 out of 100 unless they start manipulating what a peanut is, right? You cannot take the fats out of peanut. Now, what you want from it is you want to read it and go, there's no chemicals in here.
Yeah.
There's no bad additives.
It just needs to be peanuts.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, it's peanuts, honey, salt, sea salt. You're like, great.
That's it.
Yeah. Sorry gets a 52.
The less ingredients, the better.
But the one that got 13 is because it's got hydrogenated oil and this and this and this and all this other crap they put in there, and sugar, and to make it taste even better, right? That's why so maybe that's like salad dressings. You're not going to find 100-point salad dressing.
No, there's so many things, preservatives, things like that, to keep it shelfable.
But not even that. If it's just they're all fat and sugar, right? Because that's what a salad dressing is. It's meant to make your vegetables taste good.
Yeah.
How do you think get things to taste better? Salt and sugar, right? Those are the things spices. So the base of all salad dressings is fat, sugar, and salt.
Yeah.
Like that is what it is. So, but what you got to look at is, once again, I'll use this sesame dressing, Asian sesame dressing. And it's, it's like two kinds of like normal good oil, and it's a little bit of salt, and it's vinegar, and there's nothing in there that's weird.
Right.
And it gets a 32. I'm like, that's better because everything else gets a 1, 2, 3, or 0. Right. So,
which in people's minds, that's
bad.
Yeah.
But no, it's not. It's just, that's as good as you're going to get for a salad dressing because it's just full of things that aren't technically the best thing for you to do. But I found so many breads, Mighty bread. It's 100 out of 100.
I mean, I love some bread, but then, you got to be able to, I think a true sourdough bread only has 4 ingredients in it.
Yeah. It's yeast, sugar, flour, salt.
Yeah. And if you can understand what the ingredients are generally, like just my general rule of thumb, if you can understand you read it, see what's on there. Okay, then
if you're not sitting there going methane now,
so carbo,
if the word is this long, there's a problem.
Yeah, there's an issue for sure. And then all the enriched stuff, I try to.
Well, you don't want anything that's enriched.
Yeah, so I think that's a part of optimizing your health is putting the right things in your body.
Yeah, you want things to say ancient grains.
Yeah.
Organic, biodynamic, all those things. But, like I said, it's great because you can just kind of check around. And it does have a feature now that it tells you, like when you go, oh my God, you can even do deodorant. So I got rid of all the aluminum and parabens in my deodorants, right? But I was using, I'm like, I couldn't figure it out because I'm looking at the brands and I'm like, okay. And I go, I wonder if I could scan the barcode on this. I know it's not food. And sure enough, boom, pops up. And it was like still a 32 out of 100. I go, well, that's not much better. I go, yes, I'm not getting aluminum, but there's probably all this other crap to make it work.
Yeah. And a lot of these brands that would advertise that have since sold to bigger companies. And now they're no longer.
Which is the one I was using. That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Native. That was the name of it. Yeah. So anyway, then I said, there's like an alter. So I hit alternatives and then you can go and click on the ones that are alternates. Now you order one, you test it, it doesn't work or it doesn't smell good or whatever. And then you go, okay, but it took me 3 different toothpaste brands, but I got a really cool toothpaste brand now that doesn't have all the crap in it. And it works. Like, is it as good as using Crest? Doesn't make your mouth feel like you just
the fluoride
shit.
Yeah.
But no, but it has enough of that spearmint flavor that you feel like you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
It's got all the right ingredients. So there's so much cool shit you can do now. And, we're getting all on a freaking tangent on all this stuff.
Big time. Yeah. But it's
all the same
a part of it. It's a part of optimizing your health.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of things that we're told you can't happen, won't happen, not reversible. I think we're going to see a lot of that change as we change the way we think with all this stuff. And we're going more back to natural, things like, I have epilepsy. There's no cure for epilepsy. I have not had a seizure in over 4.5, 5 years now. And I'm off all my medication.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah. Because most people, it's not something you talk about. And seizures, it's not exactly the cool thing to talk about. If it comes up in conversation, I was always honest about it, but I don't walk around being like, guess what? I have epilepsy.
Yeah.
But, I didn't, I was having seizures 2-3 times a day.
Oh, wow.
And I was on medications to get rid of them. And I would still have them on there, fewer and far between for sure. But every once in a while I'd still have, or I'd start to feel it come on and it would correct. And I did the whole brain thing and I started really looking at this is 7 years ago when I started doing the research on it. And I started going into all this stuff. And sure enough, I started weaning myself off on my medications to see if I was doing good. I've not had anything.
Amazing.
And I haven't been on. Yeah. So there's that. I was told I was never going to be able to have children again. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's really the case anymore. Like literally I was told 0 chance. Now I'm not giving my body
what's your girlfriend's name again? Sorry.
Chelsea,
I think Trevor's dropping a hint over there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, this whole thing, like I'm on, even if like all the things that I'm doing to better my body and help regenerate my body. That's what I'm saying is we're regenerating, brain fibers, follicles that were said, 15 years ago, can you regrow a ligament or a tendon? No.
Nope.
Now we can.
Yeah. Now we can.
Right. All I'm saying is things that were impossible are not going to happen. Can you regrow hair from a dead follicle? No. Well, guess what? I'm doing a study right now on a product that's showing it can. Now, are you going to be able to do this and grow a big old fucking bush of hair on your head if you're completely bald? I'm not saying that, but it's the beginning. If it can grow one hair out of 20 follicles, it means it's no longer impossible.
And now it's possible. Now, how
do we make it stronger and stronger and stronger?
Make it more efficient. Yeah, correct.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe we got it from the top now working. Maybe we got to do something from the inside with it to get it to grow like grass, right? All I'm saying is you're going to see this over and over and over again. And it's chronic kidney failure, chronic kidney disease. There's no pill. There's nothing for it. You know what you do if you have kidney problems? Dialysis.
Right. Yeah.
I have another product that starts trial this month that is for the regeneration and for your GFR and your kidney function.
No way.
We're seeing reversal of kidney function go back in the better, which is not.
You are literally on the forefront of this right now.
Yeah, but that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So, and we're doing human trials. Like these are trials going on with people, with doctors. I have no say in these things. I don't know who these people are. These are through FDA registered companies that hold these trials for you. You can pay a lot of money to do them. Like,
that's amazing.
My CFO is giving me crap. He's like, we're spending a lot of money right now. And like, I'm spending too much money basically. But what it comes down to is we're spending our own personal money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to see if these products are going to work. And if once we go to a drug trial, it's not 250 or 300 or $1 million. It's like 50, $100 million. But if we can prove it in the trial that we're doing for 250 or 300 grand, which I think that's what that one costs. The hair one's much cheaper because it's not.
Yeah, it's not internal. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not like weekly blood tests happening, over and over and over again. Yeah. Right. So, but if we put 35 people through the trial and 15 or even 20 or whatever.
I was going to ask, what's the percentage of success rate that you're looking for?
Well, honestly, if you
move forward with the development of this 10.
If I get a third of the people to
who sets that guideline? Is it just you with your?
Well, that's just how we feel about the standard. But you have to remember, there's nothing that's doing that right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And okay, think about it like this: if you have, and I don't know this number, we could probably chat GPT and it'll give us like an estimate. If you say how many people die of chronic kidney disease a year around the world, right? Yeah, let's look it up. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. Okay, let's see how many people suffer from kidney failure each year in the U.S. Each year.
This is nationwide or worldwide?
Oh, we can do world. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 674 to 850 million people worldwide that are living with a kidney disease. That's what, about 8 to 10% of the world
population. Yeah.
Okay. So that's roughly 5 to 10 million are estimated to develop kidney failure in that and go on dialysis or have to have kidney transplant. Okay. And then 1 million of those die because the kidney transplant or the dialysis just is too far gone. Right. Okay. So imagine if this product shows that 10% of the people, that means I'd be able to help 67 to 85 million people not deal with a kidney disease. Okay. I think that's a win.
That's a win for sure.
Yeah. If it's 1%, I'm still helping 6 to 8 million people and I'm saving, I'm saving 1,000 lives from dying. At 1%, I save 1,000 people from dying this year. It is. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So if I get back from this initial trial and we see a 30% reversal, 30% of the people reverse, I have a real product that's going to help hundreds of millions of people every year. And I can do it for cheap, for like less than, $3,000 a year.
Yeah. I think you talked
about less than $3,000.
That's to save your
That's our cost. I mean, not our cost. That's what we would charge for, right? So now let's get insurance to cover it. We start mass producing it. Costs come way down.
I feel like insurance would be on board. Because they don't want to pay.
Wait, do you want to pay for dialysis?
No, they don't want to pay for these things. They would be on board in that way, whereas Big Pharma would be like, no, we want you to pay for these things, And I think you touched on this with the GLPs. There's so many obese people with this much a month. I think you said like $150 or something like that. I was like, you really could. You really could. These drugs are literally miracle drugs. And I talked to someone today at the gym, and I'm like, he's my age. Are you on any peptides? It's like, no, there's just not enough studies out on this and that. So doing what you're doing is you really are kind of, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah, and we'll post all these once we get the numbers back.
As you should, yeah.
And I'll say the same thing. I'm like, yeah, it failed. Like we tried. moving on. Like, I'm not going to keep selling something or using something or
one of the issues with social media. Everyone always posts the wins. No one posts the losses.
yeah, it's like gambling.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And you know, it's
all my friends that gamble, and I know they gamble a lot.
Oh yeah.
They don't talk about losses.
Yeah. And
ever.
It's the times of adversity that make you who you are, not the wins.
Yes.
So
we're, like I said, I've talked about this. I've talked to a million people. I've said on these podcasts, these are the things we're doing. These trials are months long.
Oh yeah.
6 months, 8 months long.
Oh, yeah.
These aren't cheap. Like I said, they're very expensive for me to do because we're paying for everything.
I mean, you would think that you have something that you feel and your team feels is going to work. And
we feel good enough that I'm going to spend that money on it. And I donate all the products on top of it. Right. But there's a gentleman goes by Gorilla Chemist, and he just posted his father, or his grandfather, forgive me. I think it's his father. And his name's Brian. And he has been dealing with kidney issues. And by the way, I have kidney issues, which is why I'm very heavy into this.
Okay.
There's a little bit of, I want this to work for future of myself too. And my aunt, she has one kidney and she's a kidney transplant. So it's something that it's in the family.
Yeah, genetically,
yeah. So I want to see it. I want to see it succeed very much so. But he posted a bunch of the numbers, and it was like his flow, which was degrading to below 49. I think he was at 48 or something like that, went to 65.
Oh, wow.
So just showing that it's clearing the pathways for the kidneys to work.
And this is through the
not through the trial. These are secondary,
independent.
Yeah, these are kind of the things we do to ourselves. We test everything on ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Guinea pigs. Right.
Yeah. So I will say this: when you go on this Clotho product, you do got to pee a lot. You do wake up more at night. Because it's like you're flushing you. Yeah, you're becoming more efficient. Now, it's not nearly as bad if you're not dealing with toxins, I don't think. But I think as soon as you have toxins and things going on in your body, and this is another thing that's crazy. My GFR went up a point, which doesn't happen. I was at a 4. Now I'm at a 5. So I got to actually do another blood test. I'm going to be doing some blood tests. I was waiting for the launch of Paramount Health RX.
Yeah.
So that's done. We're launching today. So I'm going to go on, do my little thing. I'm going to order some blood work tests and then talk to the doctor and then, just test the whole thing. But I'm going to start doing my blood tests more regularly.
Oh, good. Yeah. And I think
that's much we're opening a phlebotomy area in our office too. So
really, I can come over and get some blood work
anytime you want, man. Yeah.
Definitely pull up.
Yeah. We have the doctor. We have a PA that kind of is going to run it. Then we have 3 nurses. So
that's great.
Yeah.
In your own office, huh?
Yeah.
You really can test what these peptides are doing with you, huh?
Yeah.
I like that. But that's the idea though. People copying these things blindly. Some people want to stay on these things forever, and you tell me your thoughts on this, thought of, you're supposed to do these things for a cycle off, let it, 4-8 weeks and then kind of revisit later.
Depends on what it is.
I mean, let's talk about the popular ones, right? Let's talk about NADs, MOTS-cs, SS31s. Let's talk about the GLPs.
Okay,
those are the ones that are all kind of popping right now, right?
Yeah. So let's look at some of this stuff because everybody's different. There's studies, but there isn't always there's all this controversial bullshit that people come out with too, like, oh no, BPC is causing cancer. No, it's not. And I can confidently say that no, it's not causing cancer. It's not how it works. It's not growing cells.
No, it's just creating.
It's creating
blood flow, angiogenesis, right? Angiogenesis,
it's creating angiogenesis, and into areas of inflammation is where it targets. Cancer drifts through your body without you knowing. There aren't inflammation markers. We have to go in, find the tumors, find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not fixing it. That's the problem. So it's not helping it either, in my opinion. And even if it is, it really is. It'd be, obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm not running studies on this stuff, but it's these people that come in and they just want to scare everybody. And then they get, 50 million views can get passed around. Then everybody's sitting there going, oh my God, BBC is killing me. And it's like, no. If that's really the problem, you're going to die. More people are going to die of not fixing their bodies of all this other crap than the one-off random that this happened.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like worrying about getting hit by a train. You're like, how many train tracks you drive over? I'm not ever driving in a car again because you might get hit by a train on a train track.
Odds are very
right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? If you're going to go out and make a statement that fucking bold, spend $1 million or $2 and prove it in a study, stupid.
Correct.
Sorry.
Correct.
That really just pissed me off. And some of these guys just start screaming studies like Trevor Bachmeyer about shit from the 70s and 80s and 90s that is completely irrelevant and out of date.
Yeah, he does a lot of the mice studies, right? And he does.
Well, no, he doesn't even do that. He's talking about shit about like, pH levels, and we use buffers and stabilizers and things when we make these products.
Yeah.
This is not, by the way, we're not even just in peptide world, right? We're talking drug world, everything world. We have advanced a lot over 50 years on how to make things stable. So don't pull out of your ass a 1988 study or 1990 study. And
there's been a lot of advances since then.
Yeah. Jesus. And even then that study could have been just saying like, look at these don't work if you just put them together by themselves. They never even tried to stabilize them. That study might have been just proving that they can't work without a stabilizer. But he's only to throw you the one sentence in there that makes it outlandish where you can get 1 million views.
Right.
So shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, stop fucking screwing up people's wheelhouses because you just like causing controversy. That shit blows my mind. But when you really start looking at like what these are doing, yeah, if you don't have a problem, you shouldn't be running all the time. But you have BPC in your gut all the time. Yeah. So if you have gut problems, you may have a lower amount of BPC that runs through your body. You may need to use it all the time. It has a 4-hour half-life in the body. So if you do it once a day, your body gets a 20-hour break. You're fine.
Right.
The reason why you don't want to run GLPs forever is because we've extended the length of how long they work in the body, right? So
was it like a
well, it's like 7 days, 7 days, right?
Yeah. So and then a clearance time of what, like 25 days?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So if you start taking these things forever, your body is never getting a chance to do it on its own.
Right.
And that's why I say BPC safer to run consistently.
Tesofensine we talked about earlier.
Yeah, Tesofensine has a 10-day half-life. So no, but if you need to regulate in order not to develop a disease, you're better off regulating.
Right. Okay.
And that's not a peptide.
For that particular application.
Yeah, that's not a peptide either. That's different. You're not burning out a receptor with that. But let's look at TB4, TB500.
TB4, short chain, long chain, yeah.
Yeah, short and long chain. That is a 3.5-4 day half-life. So if you just keep taking that every day, you're stopping your body from doing its job naturally because you're already pumping it full of more than you probably already have.
Right.
And that's why like people that just take MOTS-c for energy, I go, well, are you having energy problems? No. I go, do you go to the gym? Yeah. MOTS-c is created through exercise.
Right.
So if you're someone that goes to the gym all the time, I tell people, you're probably going to take MOTS-c and you're not going to see anything. And, maybe you do just, a small cycle, like 5 milligrams, 4 injections over 20 days is what like I'll do a couple times a year just to make sure the functionality of the body is working right. But I really never feel it because I go to the gym every day and I work my ass off.
Before I went to the gym, I would do it and I felt it. But then I'm at the gym, I'm like, then I stopped doing it. I'm like,
you don't really feel it anymore, right?
Right.
It's kind of useless. Whereas I think something like SS31, which is owned by, which is not, they have a patent on it, which is Stealth Pharmaceuticals owns that one. And I've got to figure out how to buy that so I can put it on my menus because I don't know how we get that from them, but I'll figure that out.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I'll figure that out. That's actually
you're very resourceful.
That's different. That is a product that was created to repair.
Yes.
So we all have damages going on. You and I have probably plenty of MOTS-c to create the functionality of the mitochondria, but that doesn't mean that we don't have you might have a shit ton of damaged mitochondria, and for that to go and repair those mechanisms so that they work better or they work at all, you're probably going to feel more from that. But yeah, if you're the person that has a job where your job is to sit behind the counter at a bank for 8 to 10 hours a day and not move, and you don't go to the gym, MOTS-c will probably give you a much more substantial effect because you're not making it. Your body is sitting around, has no reason to create MOTS-c to create that functionality, to create more energy. You don't need the energy. You're sitting around doing nothing.
Right.
Why does your body need to make all this energy? Like, you have to tell your body to make energy. That's why the brain is so important. The brain doesn't make it, but the brain is what's going to get you to go do something to make this. And that's why, I always feel like anything that helps the brain is only going to help the body.
The rest of the body, yeah.
Yeah. And the same thing with the gut. Keep the gut healthy, because if it's not, it screws up your kidneys, your liver, everything. Right?
A lot of diseases derive from the gut too. And there's a lot of those things too.
Yeah, so. It all works together, everybody. It's not one answer, but yes, try and take care of all of it. Don't leave things out. That's the only thing. Know that they're all important. Like don't I wear sunscreen every day.
I do too.
Right?
Yeah, I do too.
Because you might take care of the rest of all this. You can die of skin cancer. Really, that's how you go? Because you're too lazy to put the sunscreen on.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Right.
That's
so that's ready to go. I get the people are like, well, I just don't want to give up alcohol. But there's also studies that show that drinking alcohol in moderation actually makes you live longer.
Yeah.
Like people that don't drink to people that drink 2 glasses of wine a day, 2 glasses of wine, 1. And it's probably because there is positivities with what's in red wine when it comes to resveratrol and stuff like that. And then you also have thinning of the blood, which helps the heart.
Yeah, they're probably just happier.
Yeah,
that's
happiness.
The psychological
cortisol.
Huge, yeah.
Like, I mean, there's like I said, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, it's something that I've always preached. And we actually talked about it very briefly before we walked in here. It's like, I drank a cherry Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I don't drink very often. He's got the little mini
little
ones,
8 yeah.
Right. And I haven't been sleeping very well because of all the time changes. And I'm like, you know what? I could use a little caffeine and it's a treat. Am I going to drink a super gulp?
No, you're not.
Every day?
Yeah.
No. But, it's like, I can drink this because I know I did an hour and 45 minutes of legs this morning in abs. I can have a freaking 8 ounce of cherry Coke.
Yep.
I'll be fine. But yeah, I wouldn't want to drink.
Yeah, you're not gonna overindulge for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and that's like some of the things that the questions that come across, me is, we got these guys who are like pre-diabetic and, they're sitting behind a desk all day and they just, I think society is so driven towards being workaholic, right? And it's very celebrated here where in other countries it's not. Like Italy, for example, they take a whole month off. The Latin culture, do siestas.
I mean,
it's like wait,
the time is Italy too. It's like island, anything, they're the same.
Yeah.
No one's moving fast for it.
Yeah. And it's just everyone's so on the go. They forget to think about the things that we need for our bodies to, live long, longevity, things like that. And I think people are starting to kind of see that with the peptides, but they don't realize, like, and I've said this several times in this podcast already, you have to optimize everything around you. It's not just that. Mm-hmm. I'm at the gym, I'm trying to get to single digit body fat numbers. And my trainer's like, look, you got the workout regimen down, you got to work on your diet and you got to work on your sleep, and the RETA is helping with all that stuff too. But, if you don't have all those things in place, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of it. Yeah. It takes a village to raise a child, right?
Yeah.
It takes you looking around the whole entire thing. There's a lot more going on, but it's a start. I always tell people, I go, sometimes you need to stick yourself with a needle to motivate you to go to the gym.
Yeah. And then going back to your tattoo artist, that's kind of, you did that for her. And
yeah,
you probably did save her life. I'm going to say it again.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully someday we can all take them as pills, and we're starting a supplement line too. And it's not like we're trying to, who knows where it will go, but we just see so many gaps in the quality level. There's a lot of fake stuff, but there's also what I like is there's so much new stuff in the supplement world, just like the peptide world or the drug world. There's all these different things that, luckily we have really good connections because of what we do. And there's all these really cool ways to combine a lot of things. I just got sick personally of, if you come to my house, I got to open 22 pill containers every day for all the vitamins.
Yeah.
Because I take one methylated multivitamin just to cover my bases.
I do too.
Right.
Yeah.
But then the rest of it's like I take, the different versions of folate acid and, L-lyophin and this and whatever. There's some, I don't even know how to say half of them. I'm not a supplement guy like that, but, you take, your lithium,
But you're not taking them blindly. You're taking
No, they have reasons
why. You have your biomarkers to support that, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's all these things that I take because I need them, right? Because they're important because, like, I don't absorb vitamin D and this, right? So I'm very specific on the ones I do take.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of them, right? And I'm like, why do I gotta take so many things? So I'm basically looking at, okay, well, where does the peptide and the small molecule market go? And what are the things we need? And I can put all these things into one pill. Like, I know which ones play well together.
You can do it and still create the bioavailability of you.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing, formulating and doing everything. Just like my skincare line, we have all of our inky numbers. They're proven to work. We got FDA approvals, like all the stuff we need to show that these are working together. We've proved it. We have the paperwork on it, like making the exosomes stable in a topical.
Wow.
Like, and they're coming from blood cord. These are real human ones. This is not plant exosomes. We're doing real, umbilical blood exosomes. So we're able to make these products. We're doing the same thing and doing the same testing to make sure, because some things you can and can't put together, they just cancel each other out. So, but if you look when it comes out, you'll see when you read the list of ingredients, and we tell you being researched for, or we'll say this is what it does, right? There's things you can say and can't, and there's more things you can say in something. That's why it's so shady. People just kind of say stuff that there isn't true, but we're going to be very transparent. Like, we don't know if this is going to help your brain, but it's being researched for it. Right. And hopefully in a year or two, once all the real data comes out,
Yeah.
it's already in there. And if it comes out that doesn't do anything, we'll just take it out then. But meantime, it's safe. We know that there's safety studies are done, this stuff. So like, yeah, let's put a little bit in there at the right milligram, what they're testing it for. And if we need to up or lower it at any point in time, we'll adjust our formulation based on it. But then you have all the proven. So, you got, all these really cool ingredients kind of going in. We're doing, we have brain, gut, one for people that are on GLPs. We'll have a pre-workout kind of thing. And we're trying to do it in the amounts that are really worth it for everybody to do. Instead of, they put it on the bottle, so they have the name there, but you look at it and go, that's not enough.
Right. And you have to have a certain amount for these things to actually take effect. Yeah.
But now I can just open my cabinet. I can take 6 pills instead of 26.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm taking
maybe 12 to take one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Yeah.
But that's a lot better than 26 some odd.
Exactly. Because there are just so many, and there's some of them are, like this big. And
you're sitting here, I got 10 in my hand. I'm just gulp. I'm like, it gets tough sometimes. But trying to be able to consolidate that would be
So it's a little bit of what I want kind of thing. But there's other people.
You're addressing a big.
I'm trying to address the issues and so on. Right. And the other thing is we're trying to use way higher level of ingredients. So
that actual dose packs a bigger punch, or is it more effective?
Yeah. So like the right kinds of absorption enhancers that we're putting in there so that they're more effective even at the dose they're at.
Got it.
Right. Because there's a lot of, if you look at like fish oil is probably one of the worst things you can do. Everyone's, you need fish oil. It's got all those great things.
My doctor's got me on those like 2 a day.
Yeah. But if you read, there's fish oil that's just oil. And then there's fish oils that are actually what you need that carry the good components. You need to look at the back and you need to compare it, because if it has 2,000 milligrams of the oil that does nothing for you, but only 500 of the one that's actually the one that you're looking for, you got to take 5 of those, and then you're taking a bunch of those empty, crappy oil calories. Whereas if you really read into it, and like I'm not a fish oil, it's like if you showed me a bottle, I could point them out. It's like DHL or compared. I'm
taking someone with Metagenics. That's the one I take.
Yeah, there's good brands, but the other thing is a lot of it's also spoiled. Because it's animal based,
leftover.
It goes rancid. So
stuff's not being put in the refrigerator.
No, like mine are in the fridge.
Oh,
they have to stay refrigerated.
How do you make it shelf stable?
They don't. Yeah, preservatives, or it's full of that crap oil that doesn't do anything for you, but it keeps it alive a little longer. So you can take all that out if you keep them in the fridge. Same thing with prebiotics.
Prebiotics, okay.
They stay in the fridge a lot of time.
Interesting.
Now there are probiotics and prebiotics that are shelf stable, but a lot of the better quality ones aren't.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The probiotics I take, it's like a little jar. I take a little spoonful. It's in the fridge.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get that. It's just if you're trying to take it. So you just got to look at, not everything is what it seems. And because it's a supplement, you can get away with a lot more. So we're trying to, my whole thing is, okay, if let's say the markup on it. So a lot of times the markup on these products is 100%. Sorry to break it to you, everybody. And that's why they run sales all the time. Right. Yeah. So, they cost, $10 to make something. They want to charge 20, and then they can run if they run 25% off, they're making 5, and there's all the different things. There's shipping. It's not as easy as this, but you know what I mean?
To the cogs. Yeah. There's a lot
right.
To it.
So, but if you have a $10 item, you're trying to make double, you're going to make $10. Right. For me, I have a different way that I work my equations, which is not always the best for counting and so forth, but it's the best thing for me. So if I'm going to sell you the same product, but way better, but it costs me $15 to make it, I just sell it for 25. I'm still only going to make the $10. I'll know that I can't give you as much off, but you're going to get a product that's 50% more superior.
Yeah. And that would be your.
So, but that really comes into effect when you think of things like people make something that's $30, they're going to charge you $60, and then I'll make something that's $50 and I'll charge 70, right? Because I only need to make $20. I don't need to make that double. I don't go off the double thing.
I love your disruptive mentality.
Yeah, I don't go over I need to make 100% on everything. Dollars go to the bank,
medicine,
not
and
percentages.
all the supplements, they need more people like you too.
Yeah.
You just create disruption because you're putting out a better product and you're not thinking about the money. The money is a byproduct.
It is, but if you make a product that's just superior to everybody, and you're making $20 a bottle, and I sell 20 million bottles compared to your $1 million bottles that you make $30 on, who wins? I do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for me, this is the other thing. I also look at the way when I produce things, I try and produce over the amount, because the bottle is always the same price. The manufacturing is all the same price. The shipping is always the same price. So if I can give you a product that has twice the goods in it, but charge you 25% more, you get twice the product. So you get 2 months worth. I still make sure I lock you in for 2 months. I give you 75% off that second dose. But the way that I save my money, it was one-time shipping instead of 2. It was 1 bottle instead of 2. It was 1 bottle in a warehouse taking up space instead of 2. These guys want to get you on a metric where it's like they get you to order every single month. Well, that's 12 shipments instead of 6. I work off of less shipments, all that. I'll pass those savings to you. So yeah, you got to buy 2 months at a time, but they're stable. But you're going to save 50% of the money, and I save enough money that it's worth it for me to do.
Wow. Yeah. Not only are you optimizing your health, you're optimizing your prices.
Also, I'm optimizing the goddamn environment.
Yeah, the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
No,
so
that's
less plastic, less paper, less road, less pollution. Helps for everything. If whatever I can get things to make where they're still in that really good wheelhouse. So I don't look 30 days. I look 2 to 3 months for things.
Yeah.
It's just better.
It is.
Most people are in this. They really should be in it for more than 30 days.
And
you see the results.
Yeah. And you kind of expose something there to where, all these costs are the same, but I can put more in there.
I'm giving it to you for free, essentially.
Yeah. And people don't realize that because they don't understand the back end of things and production and manufacturing and shipping. They just receive the products.
No, if I ship a FedEx package to you and it costs $22 and I send that monthly, that means you're going to spend an extra, $250 in shipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that. I'll put that into product and ship you 3 months at a time. Now I do 4 shipments and now I'm charging $88. So I save $170. If I put $170 of product in there because the products that were going out were $20 a bottle, I just basically took care of your half your year for free.
Did everybody get that?
Right.
Got it.
So
no.
But that's how I think.
Yeah. No, but that's you do that so people don't have to think that way. You do it for them. So, you're
so the price may look a little higher, but you're actually getting a better value.
Yeah.
So you just got to get past that.
And I think people oftentimes like they shop that way. So how do you advertise that to people? And
it just comes down to education.
Yeah.
And like I said, with this, what we're doing, it comes to people that actually want to read what they're looking at and making sure that you're pointing out those things. But yeah, at spot value, if someone's just shopping for the cheapest price, they don't know. Okay. If you go buy a $3 shirt, you wear it once and you wash it, it's gone.
Right.
You go buy a $30 shirt, you wear it 100 times before you throw it away. I mean, that's a really stupid reference, but you also get what the point of it is.
The point of it, yeah.
Right. It's going cheap doesn't save you money.
It doesn't.
It just feels like it does. If you buy a quality mattress, you're going to have better sleep for 7 to 10 years compared to a crap mattress that you're going to sleep like crap. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to have to deal with bills in the doctors, like chiropractor or massages because you're not comfortable. You're not getting it. Like people don't understand the repercussions. Now, you don't need to spend $20,000 on that bed because you're not going to get that value out of it. Yeah. That's a luxury.
There's a fine line.
But there's a good size median in there. Mm-hmm. And if you buy your goods in that good size median from quality people, you're going to get a really good overall value. And that's why I like going to Costco's. One of those things, and shout out to Costco, is they sell you kind of the same mentality. We're going to sell you enough peanut butter for a family instead of peanut butter for you, but the peanut butter doesn't go bad for a year, so you should be able to go through it, and you're going to pay the same price as a small bottle. Like it really is. Like if you go to Costco,
Costco, their model's incredible because they make their money off the membership fees.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's. But I know what you're saying. The value and when it comes with it, and they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing.
Look at the companies that are really doing well. It's the people that understand how to give a good value. So I like. Well, personally, that's what I look at. I'm trying to give you Macs and Apples and all this stuff. They're not the cheapest product, but they give you a better value. They're more secure. They're more synced.
It's a better,
save you time.
User-friendly experience.
Which I know is hard if you're on PC. I switched. Yeah. I was like, where the hell do I move between screens?
I love the Switch too because everything's integrated.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the time I save paid for my computer already.
Exactly.
Like my time is so valuable. The fact that I can be on there typing and I get a call on there, I can answer it from there and I can answer my text messages. And when someone sends something on an email, I can drag it onto a text message to somebody. Yeah. You can't do that on PC. No. Those things that I got to stop and that cost me $20 in time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I spent twice as much money on my computer, it paid for itself in the first month with the time savings. And that's what you got to start looking at. What is your value?
Efficiencies. Yeah. Your value.
We overwork, as you said, in this country.
We do.
If you have an exorbitant amount of time, if you do not work, then yes, build things yourself, right? Clean your own home, scrub your own toilets,
right?
Because what are you going to do instead? You're not creating value. You create luxury, but value are two different things. We try to create high quality for good value.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
we got any final questions? Do you have any questions?
I don't. I mean,
I could have talked another hour. I gotta drive to San Diego.
I'll definitely, talk to you on the side about some of this hormone optimization stuff, which is stuff that I'm kind of digging into right now. But right now I'm just kind of looking at the peptides and seeing what will work for me. And, I'd say educating is the best thing we could do right now. Just kind of tell people what it is and have them understand it. And that's kind of a good way to.
Anything you want to shout out? Business?
Nothing much to shout out right now. Hey mom, what's up?
Say hi to your mom.
What's up, mom?
First podcast.
My first podcast. My twin brother Min. My business partner Perry. What's up, Perry?
Yeah,
the whole team.
Oh my God, Perry hit me up when I was in another country, and I did not get back to him. I got to text Perry.
Yeah, give him a text.
I will.
Yeah,
I was gone for the whole month.
Oh,
I was home 5 days, and those 5 days weren't home. I was unpacking, and there's my alarm to go.
Yeah.
It was unpacking, doing laundry, and packing again. So.
Well, anyways, man. Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you, and you are the science backed of all this stuff, and I learned a lot today, and enjoy our conversation. We should do it again soon.
First podcast out, bro.
Yeah.
Let's wrap.
Let's do it.